मैं 2880 मेगावाट दिबांग मल्टीपर्पज डैम का कमिटी का डाउनस्ट्रीम कमिटी का स्पोक्स पर्सन कम यूथ प्रेसिडेंट हूँ। तो आई विल ब्रीफ 3 पॉइंट्स पे मैं ज़्यादा स्ट्रेस देना चाहूँगी, स्पेशली इफ़ यू गो बाय द मेमोरेंडम विच इज़ बीन सबमिटेड टू द मीडिया। फर्स्ट पॉइंट इज क्यूमुलेटिव डाउनस्ट्रीम इम्पैक्ट असेसमेंट ऑफ मल्टीपल प्रोजेक्ट्स। तो दिबांग वैली में बहुत सारा डैम्स अभी प्रपोज किया है और सैंक्शन भी हो रहा, साइन भी कर रहे हैं एमओयू। बट दिस इज द फर्स्ट प्रोजेक्ट इन लोअर दिबांग वैली। लोअर दिबांग वैली में बस एक ही प्रोजेक्ट है विच इज 2880 मेगावाट दिबांग मल्टीपर्पज डैम। तो बट वी डिमांड इन आवर फर्स्ट पॉइंट ऑफ द मेमोरेंडम दैट एक प्रॉपर इम्पैक्ट असेसमेंट होना चाहिए। आफ्टर ऑल वी विल बी द वन इन द डाउनस्ट्रीम रिगार्डलेस ऑफ हाउ मेनी डैम्स देर आर देयर इन अपस्ट्रीम। तो फर्स्ट इज जो अभी प्रॉपर जो स्टडी करके रखा हुआ है, कैरिंग कैपेसिटी स्टडी है, दैट फ्लो सिमुलेशन जो है पानी का, दैट ओनली स्टार्ट्स 43 किलोमीटर्स फ्रॉम द डैम। So if you go by this map, which will also be circulated in the amongst you, is that if you go by this map, this is the entire lower Dibang Valley belt, which in case of over inundation या फिर dam break, these areas will be directly impacted, either submerged or anything worse can happen. Because I will cite the example of China का दो डैम टूटा वाला example I can give you in 2008 and 2010. This was a study done by Brahma Shalini, who was the policy advisory group under Foreign Minister of India, and also the National Security Advisory Board, and also was a professor in Independent Center for Research Policy in New Delhi. So the Great China Quake earthquake हुआ था, दो major earthquakes in China triggered by this dam. 156 meters high Zipingu hydropower dam triggered 2 earthquakes in China, which is in similar seismic zone to our areas, because it's we fall under the similar seismic zone 5. वहाँ में लोअर ये 156 मीटर तो हम लोग का 278 मीटर से तो बहुत कम है, फिर भी it triggered massive earthquake which killed around 87,000 and 25,000 people in 2008 and 2010. And 5 million people were rendered homeless. So this was in China, that we keep arguing that China is building dams, that's why we build dams. Although Dibang Multipurpose Dam has no lower riparian advantage, because हम लोग का ये पानी अरुणाचल में खुद फॉर्म होता है, unlike Siang is the one that comes from Sangpo, but Dibang River, it's originated within Indian territory. So, but regardless of that, I'm saying that there is a massive data out there that dams have triggered massive droughts, especially in Mekong Delta. If you see, it used to be rice bowl of Asia before, highest production of rice in Asia. Now it's in marginal production. वहाँ में due to dam induced flood and drought. तो हम इतना दूसरा कंट्री का बात नहीं करके अपना अरुणाचल का बात करेगा। 600 मेगावाट कमिंग जो प्रोजेक्ट रिवर अभी है बना है, अभी इतना अरुणाचल टाइम्स has covered it very extensively, अरुण भूमि is covering it extensively, and other medias are extensive. But we want the public also to be aware कि वहाँ में क्या हो रहा है। अभी फिशरी पूरा रुक गया, जो नेचुरल इकोसिस्टम होता है पानी का, वो ब्लॉक होने का वजह से नदी पूरा सूख गया कामेंग का। I urge media guys to please also attend to 600 megawatt downstream जो कमिटी है कामेंग प्रोजेक्ट का। They are also complaining day in and day out. So we must address these issues. So pertaining to these issues, the first point is, इसीलिए we are stressing on this cumulative impact assessment. आप बनाइए ना डैम, लेकिन एटलीस्ट स्टडी तो कीजिए पूरा ना। जो आप स्टडी अभी खोला है NHPC, on which basis by the way Italian dam was also cancelled in January, because they didn't have a proper report. So we urge the government, and government is willing to be cordial with us. So that is very that is kind of convincing to till now. तो जो स्टडी है दिबांग, अभी ये दिबांग बेसिन का स्टडी starts 43 kilometers after, which means it goes till Guwahati तक स्टडी किया, but not the immediate lower Dibang Valley, which is from Nizamgarh to Paglam, within which it's lower Dibang Valley and East Siang districts, 2 districts. So that study is a must, we demand that study. And second is the project affected family status. When we see itna sara examples day in and day out, the dams are causing havoc for the downstream, why is in the policy level we are not included under PAF? Right, so that is our major demand, that हम लोग को downstream को project affected family status मिलना है। this could include Assam, but since we are from Arunachal, we are raising only the cause of Arunachal so far. But Assam also must be considered because if you go by data, this Assam flood was induced a lot by dammed water release last year ka flood, and the floods in Assam, annual floods in Assam are induced by, if you go by Hindustan Times report, they have also done extensive coverage on the floods in Assam due to dam water release. So Assam is also actually liable for PAF status. And the third point is re-examining our impacts on forest rights. So no consent was taken whatsoever during this forest clearance. अभी एक चीज़ हम आपको बताएगा कि जो दिबांग मल्टीपर्पज़ का क्लियरेंस 2014 में मिला है ना, इसका फॉरेस्ट क्लियरेंस, उसका फॉरेस्ट क्लियरेंस का कंडीशन एक नेशनल पार्क था, वेरी बिग नेशनल पार्क दैट कैन बेसिकली एक पूरा डिस्ट्रिक्ट टाइप से है, इतना बड़ा नेशनल पार्क है दिबांग का फॉरेस्ट क्लियरेंस कंडीशन। तो वो नेशनल पार्क को अभी हम लोग को 8 years का बाद in 2022 we got to know about that condition. It has also been reported in Indian Express article on which basis NGT took a suo motu case and also released it because the state government replied ki we don't want to the people are not agreeing with the national park condition, so that has been converted into a conservation reserve now. So that was a forest clearance condition. So we don't want it to be a faith to comply case ना कि मतलब आप जैसे तैसे करके मान गया, ऐसे तो नहीं होना है. Why do you want to compromise with our tribal rights? Where will we go? ना बाद में देखा तो टाइगर रिजर्व, ये रिजर्व, वो रिजर्व डाल दिया under forest clearance का condition. But where will people go? We don't want to be in this chaotic position forever. So that's why we request government to take protocol measures. पहले अपना protocol को पूरा clear कीजिए ना. तो वो है. So these 3 points I assert like as the youth president and the spokesperson also, and this has been unanimously agreed by all the concerned members and communities of Lower Dibang Valley. So these 3 points may actually bring change in the project design and operation as well as our forest rights. So after compliance of these 3 projects, we want to go with the embankment, no dam is what is written here, and this and especially our by compliance of Bengal Eastern Frontier Regulation Act 1873 is a must guidance for any of these large infrastructure projects in Arunachal Pradesh, be it anywhere, because a major influx of migrants is going to happen, and we know how loose this law is in the borders of Assam and Arunachal. And we being in Assam and Arunachal border, we really want our government to look after it. And one more insisting point is the Dam Review Panel Expert Committee. This has to be independent of NHPC, independent of the state government, and independent of government of India, but under the preview of our downstream affected committee. Because I will give you cite an example. I will not take much time. I will cite an example of Italin का क्या हुआ था. इटालियन का जो EIA रिपोर्ट था, that was done by Wildlife Institute of India under Government of India. But what happened in seasonal study वो लोग, which is supposed to be 4 seasons, but they did covered it in 3 seasons, and the whole report was manufactured. It was not accurate data. जिसको उस report EIA को 31 scientists independently across India reviewed it and found the flaw. That's when we could point it out. That's how we could, really negotiate with talk to the government. So we heavily depend on the government as being state of Arunachal Pradesh, and then we expect the government कि हमारा बात सुनेगा, मानेगा. And अभी तक we have got very good correspondence, like sir mentioned. DCM sir, Chanaman sir assured us that he will look after the matter. He will take up this issue. Although we could not meet the Honorable CM sir, DCM sir has assured us, so which is something we will go by. And Rijiju sir has also assured that he will support us. There should be no compromise with tribal rights and environmental and forest rights. So by these points, I would like to conclude again by just reiterating that dams are really not sustainable or renewable energy anymore. इतना अच्छा अभी solar energy, wind energy में 175 gigawatt का government of India is proposing. If you see the Hindu business line का 25 का article on renewable energy, they've covered extensively, which Indian government is also actually transitioning towards wind and solar, which is excellent point. I request the Arunachal government also to take up that. Na?